The female professional CSGO scene houses some of the best players in the world. However, the scene is fairly undiscovered, which is why today we are going to be looking at the top 10 best female CSGO pro teams in the world. My name is Braden, and welcome to Valve Guides. CSGO has a pretty impressive competitive scene, however it is very male dominated. The London FaceIT Major has no female players on a team. This is not uncommon for CSGO or really just internet games in general, as the majority of tier 1 and tier 2 and even tier 3 teams have no female players. With that being said, our number 1 spot is arguably better than some of the best CSGO teams today. So in no particular order other than number 1, let's take a look at the top 10 best female CSGO teams in the world. Before we do get started, y'all, I'm going to butcher these names because prior to researching this topic, I haven't heard of a lot of these people, being totally honest with you, so I'm not going to get all of these names correctly, and I'm notorious for pronouncing names incorrectly. So just bear that in mind and have fun in the comment section with that. Coming in at number 10, we have Team Dignitas.
Last stand here for eParadise to get a chance to go to the finals, doesn't get the pick, and Dignitas are going to face off against Team Unknown yet again.
This is an all North American team, the roster being Amulete, Artstar, Rain, and finally Kath. Coming first at the Girl Game Esports Festival, Intel Challenge Katowice, and top 8 in Copenhagen Games this year, this team is really starting to show their true power. At number 9, we have the famous Counter Logic Gaming Red. CLG Red was one of the first all-female CSGO rosters. However, they have had a few changes made to their team since then, consisting of D, Benita, Refine, Emmy, Miss Harvey, Goose Breeder, and their coach, Vez. CLG Red hasn't had much success in tournaments in recent years, with their last win being in 2015 at the Esports Women's World Cup. However, despite this, the team is an OG, so definitely deserve a spot on this list. Optic recently released their female Brazilian roster with Gabby, Pan, Cami, Bizenha, and Jultini, I think is how that is supposed to be read. I apologize. These players aren't the most known players out there, however having a huge organization like Optic pick them up must show that they have some talent. These 5 players will definitely be at the top of the female scene pretty soon. They are competing in Brazil at the Brazil Game Finals this October, so they'll be revealing their true colors then. Number 7 is Singularity. Singularity used to be a very good team, however Petra leaving a few months back has left the force searching for their next teammate. However, before her departure, they showed the world just how good they were when they won the 2018 Female Copenhagen Games, coming in 5th or 6th place in the Intel Katowice, losing to Keed 2-1. The roster of Ella, Clive, Kim, and Candy remain together, looking once again to dominate their opponents with a new teammate. Next, we have probably the best female team in Asia, Tyloo Female. With Hazel, 129, 720, Prono, and M on the roster, this team has reached top 8 in the Copenhagen Games 2018, being knocked out by Rez. These players are all Chinese with the exception of Hazel, making them the best Chinese female team. The roster is pretty fresh, so we'll be seeing some big changes in the near future most likely. Spirifrex Female also attended the Copenhagen Games, however were knocked out by Tyloo, leaving them in top 16. Mimi, Julie Babs, Psycho, Kika, and Nylon were a decently strong roster, however decided to part ways, leaving only Psycho and Kika. However, they were still a top 10 roster in 2018, which is why they made this list. Being a very new roster and international may have been a reason why they did not do so well as they were expected to in Copenhagen Games. Hopefully we will see the remaining players find the perfect 5. Next on our list is the roster from eParadise Angels.
It's only Cresilia left alive in a 1 vs 2. Anna and Monkey Julie. She's playing from an upper position, which can be so effective, but she's gonna get taken down! eParadise, for the first time ever, they're able to beat Besiktas in a match.
The French and Belgian mix are flying under the radar this year with nothing much being said about them, even though they are doing pretty well in the female scene. The next female tournament has not been announced yet, but we hope eParadise can show how they really play and make a name for themselves. Squared Prospects recently made a name for themselves when they beat Riot and Keed earlier this year at LAN.
This is winnable. She just needs to try and isolate the 1v1s, take the firefights and play it smart. She extends out, gets the burst, takes down the low member, and it is all on Pan now. Time is of the essence, though. She has to react quick, smart. She's got to make a decision on how she wants to deal with this. She might get caught with her pants around her ankles as well. She have to smoke out. Luckily, the time will give her just enough to slip onto site, but she has to plant now. Pan can just pre-fire peek and spam towards her instead. Plays it slow, plays it dubious. Oh. She might have just given this round away to Vic as well. Lets her into the back line. She has no idea. Vic's being a silent assassin. Finds the frag and a 4K.
however recently lost their 5th woman. Vic, Bullet Girl, Nessa, and Rewin is all that is left in the roster after placing 5th at Copenhagen. They also have played at Intel Katowice 2018, coming in 2nd and pulling in a hefty $12,000 for their team. However, due to some inactivity from the squad, they didn't perform to their best and didn't make the top 3 spot in Denmark. Aries Female came 6th at Katowice and 8th in Copenhagen. However, they are still very good, consisting of Cindy, Riley, DSHQ. I don't even know if that's even possible to pronounce as a word, and I assume that's Taddy and Tori. The ladies managed to make both of the top female tournaments this year, creating a name for themselves and a following for the future. They played an exciting game against CLG Red, taking the victory 16-4 at Katowice, which is probably the game that got their team a decent following.
They've got double molly. You've got 1 smoke and 2 flashes. Both of them have the kits, though. That's going to be the all-important factor. They just need to try and find these tags. Cindy picked up by Promise, but the flank coming around from Tatty. They seem to have caught wind of it as the push comes through. Tatty gets the first, kicks for the second. They're close to actually finding that frag as she pushes in. There's no time. The USP does it. Time. She's going to jump on it. She had the kits. No, it's Tatty will get it. The 11th round in such a ridiculous manner.
Finally, at number 1, we have Rez Gaming, consisting of Zaz, Vilga, Petra, Crasilia. These names are hard to figure out what they're supposed to be, but they're awesome. And finally, Juliano, who is undisputedly the best female player in the world. Rez Gaming has 2 very strong players, Zaz and Juliano, recently coming from Team Secret, who were considered to be the best female team in the world, winning Copenhagen Games. However, when disbanded, Zaz and Juliano moved to Rez Gaming. Rez recently beat Tyloo Females with a score of 2-0. They are a new team, however, they're doing very well, and maybe one day can even reach a major and possibly win it. Hopefully, females and esports can start reaching better recognition. Ladies are able to put the same amount of dedication and time as any professional player, so hopefully we'll see some rise to tier 1 and tier 2 teams in the near future. Although it feels like if a female player that was purely capable joined an all-male team and it was just her and them, there'd be a lot of controversy over the team just picking her up because she's a female. Hopefully that's not the case, but there's always going to be controversy surrounding this kind of crap, unfortunately. Who is your favorite female team? Do you think there should be a Valve-sponsored women's major? Let us know in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for sticking around until the end of the video. My name is Braden. Stay amazing, and I will see you in the next video.